And so I think, it's one of those things where, like, I always felt that preseason mattered. And it seems like in this day and age, more and more people get scared to play their actual starters during the preseason. They're really scared of injury. And it showed yesterday. Like, the Rams did not seem like they were on par or just like, we're ready for real football. Probably ready for, football practice wise, but real football, they ain't seem ready. Everyone except Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup was ready. Cooper Cup is him. Cooper Cup, that dude. But I'm feeling good personally because I got Josh Allen in our league, and Josh Allen had a good 30 points. He didn't have a great game, but he still had like 30 plus points, which is like crazy. Say how high his ceiling is. So I'm feeling good. Not sure who I'm playing. I think somebody who beat me last year on their way to the playoffs. While my team was hurt. So I'm looking for a little revenge, getting it back, and off to a good start.
Oh boy, here we go. So yeah, so I agree with you on all parts. And I'm somebody who is not a fan of preseason football, right? But I am somebody who understands the importance of preseason football. It's not preseason basketball. It's not something that guys have been doing in the off season, right? It takes a while for you to get yourself prepared to get hit, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the part that you can't replicate. You can't replicate. They say playing in the NFL game is like being in what, 10, 15, 20 car crashes. Like I've been in a car crash. You can't replicate a car crash, right? Like there's
No.
nothing you can do to prepare yourself for the car crash. Not and again, I've been in a car crash and I've been in two recent ones, and this just goes to show you my luck recently. I've been in matter of fact, three recent ones if you want to count the time that the deer just ran across and I clipped the back of it and that little joker kept running. I got tapped. I got tapped in the back of my car once. And then I was in a spin out accident, and then the deer hit my car. And all three of those times, more than anything else, it wasn't the physical part that I had to get used to, because the physical was like, okay, yeah, my body kind of hurts. Okay, I'll get over it. Mentally,
Yeah.
I was spent for a couple of days. I don't know if I had a concussion. I don't know if I was just, whatever. But mentally was the part where I couldn't get right. So I can't imagine going through this every Sunday for 17 weeks and being ready for that just after the off season. Like there's got to be something that prepares you for that. There's got to be something that prepares you to do that. And like you said, it seems like it's the preseason football that we're missing right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, it's gonna show up the rest of this week one. Like, guys just need real football. Like, you have guys who didn't step on the field at all in the preseason. So, we've seen how that was in years past, where guys didn't step in and then like a real game, or so at least 3 quarters or so to kind of get acclimated. Like you said, get used to being hit, get used to be going 100% full speed. Because preseason speed wise, as much football as that is, it's not the same as regular season football when guys run 100 miles an hour trying to make plays, and it's not the third string future Piggly Wiggly attendant trying to hit you. It's an all pro out there, running fools. It's Aaron Donald and boys, what I'm saying, out there trying to hit you. So it's a little bit different. So, but I enjoyed it. Football is back. I'm happy to have that. Looking forward to that's right there. We're looking forward to football this week. And man, we cannot wait. We cannot wait for it, man. Praise to EW's in Spanish League.
Okay, so shout out to David who's yawning at his dad with all of that nonsense that he's talking. I appreciate you, little David. So yeah, man, like you said, fantasy football started up. We had a crazy week going on. Of course, right now you're the high scorer with Josh Allen and with Davis doing their thing. But hey, man,
I am.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Shut up, man. Shut up before I cut your microphone. But a close second who's up there with the points is Variable Junior, because Variable Junior did the smartest thing, maybe the no-brainer thing of all, and picked up Cooper Cup. like you said, Cooper Kupp is just a baller. He
Yeah.
is who he is. Like, he is that guy. He is, whoever the main receiver is at a point in their careers. He's T.O., he's Jerry Rice, he's Michael Irvin, all of those guys. He's Antonio Brown. He's that guy who's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, okay, sure, he can start off slow, because he started off slow. He had a slow start yesterday, and he just wound up with 13 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, this is what he does. He is who he thought he was. Like, after coming back from that injury, he is everything we thought he would be, and it's good to see that. So that I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see that Cooper Kupp was out there playing great.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford probably needed a preseason.
Yeah.
Because he did not
He did.
look great.
He did.
He didn't look
And I'm
good.
not
Forget
sure.
about great. He didn't
I'm
look
not
good
sure
at all.
how many snaps throwing the ball he really had in camp. He's got an elbow issue.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen elbow. I don't know, surgery, but definitely procedure. We couldn't throw the ball for 10 to 12 weeks. So I imagine training camp is most of him just by resting his arm, not a whole lot of reps. And, you need reps. No matter how good, great you are, you need reps to prepare for any type of season. Football, basketball, baseball, you need actual reps. Training camp, spring training, NBA preseason. It's there for a reason. It serves its purpose. And so he obviously needed more. So I'm pretty sure this next week he'll be in the lab, throwing that football, and come back. And the funny part is, who they play next week, right?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So next week is going to be an off week for them.
Yeah. So, we love our Falcons, man, but the world champs just got beat on national TV and opening game. And so now it may be a problem. They may be a little upset, and they may want to take it up and off on the Falcons.
Yeah, not even May. I just don't want to get embarrassed. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Just lose the game with some pride. Just do not embarrass us.
I'm not sure you're gonna get that. I'm not sure you're gonna get
that. I know I'm not. I'm putting it out there. Like I'm just hoping that that's what happens. I know that's not going to happen. I know we're going to get embarrassed. I know we're going to get our teeth kicked in. But I'm just hoping that we can go out there and have just a little bit of pride.
Right.
Shout out to my man Romy Rome for checking in. Shout out Jerome. Thank you so much for checking in, brother. Appreciate you. Now, let's pivot, because you and I had a text discussion back and forth that I find very, very interesting. So we on Sunday you text me and you was like, hey man, I'm watching this LSU Florida State game. LSU is about to lose this thing. Brian Kelly is overrated. And I said, yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you. But what I said and what I believe is, I said, yo, I think that people overrate this LSU job. Right now, hear me out. Here's what I'm saying to that. And it was over text. It was over text. So maybe the context was a little bit lost, right? So I'm not saying that LSU doesn't have players, right? I'm not saying that LSU doesn't put players in the league. I'm not saying that LSU can't close off the borders of Louisiana and can't build a squad. What I am saying is that with all of those things that we consider advantages, they're just a once in a while blip team that will do something great every once in a while. Without that, they're a 8-4, a 7-5 team. Like, no matter who their coach is, and we've had. I mean, let's not forget that Saban was there. Saban won a national championship, but he also had a couple of eight win seasons, right? So it's not like, and this is the greatest coach of all time, right? And also, I'll grant everybody that this was before he became the greatest coach of all time. And he was a great coach who went to Alabama. So this is a great situation. Times a great situation is, it's serendipity, right? I'll grant everybody that. I get all of that. But what I'm saying is, or maybe, well, let me take that back. I don't know who the coach is that can make them a perennial every year powerhouse. Right? I don't know who that coach is. I don't know if that coach exists, because I think that this team, I think that this program, I think that, yes, They love football. Yes, they want to be great at football, but they don't want to die to be great at football like an Alabama does, right? They want to be great, but they don't want it that bad. And you gotta want it that bad, like Ohio State. You gotta want to cheat and step on people and all of that stuff. And I know they used to do that. I know they used to cheat, but they don't even cheat anymore. So I don't think that it's that kind of job anymore. The college football has expanded too much. Too many guys now have the opportunities to showcase exactly what they can do, where they can go, who they can be. It's not that same job that it used to be.
So it used to be being how long ago in the past we're talking about? We're talking about 5 years ago?
I'm talking about decades ago. Because again, 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago, they were in the midst of trying to find a quarterback, and then boom, they hit lightning in a bottle. In 19? They hit lightning in a bottle in 19. So they're 5 years ago, they were still trying to figure out what Joe Burrow was, and then boom, 2 years later, hit lightning in a bottle. But still, like even before that and after that, again, they're good enough to win a national championship. Don't get me wrong, and they'll win one every now and then. Don't get me wrong, but they're not a perennial. You always have to look at them as being a national championship contender. I don't think that that's the job anymore.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I understand it 100%. I just disagree with it. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
LSU is one of those few jobs, right, where if you get the right coach, you're automatically in discussion with a national championship. You're in a discussion with Georgia. You're in a discussion with Alabama. You're in a discussion with Clemson and Ohio State. If you get the right coach, automatically, because the recruiting ground is too fertile.
Now, hold on. Before you say anything, because you're making, I want to rebut some of those, but I don't want to forget. So you said which teams did you say? You said Georgia, Alabama,
Clemson, Ohio
Clemson,
State.
Ohio
To me,
State.
they're on the
Okay.
same plane.
Okay.
Because remember
Okay.
this, Georgia just started winning last year. Georgia,
Yeah, no.
no. Just get to them.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, LSU has been better than Georgia for the last decade. Simple. You can't say not because they have.
Yeah.
Because LSU has won SEC championships multiple times. They beat Alabama multiple times. And I think they have at least 2, maybe 3 national championships in the last 10 plus years. Remember the time when Matthew, LSU Tigers?
Yeah.
They were a beast too. They were a beast.
They were.
Championship. They beat Georgia. And then they beat Alabama not the year before that year. So
yeah,
they beat them that year because they were the SEC West participant.
Right. They beat them. They beat them in the most boring game of all time. Yeah.
They did, and it wasn't aesthetically pleasing, but they beat them. They won.
Jesus, it was
and
not.
Not many teams could go up against Alabama player for player and beat them. You know what I'm saying, in a neutral field.
Right.
LSU has the ability to do that. You can't point to maybe 2, 3 other teams that can do that. You see what I'm saying? Texas A&M, maybe every so odd years, they can do it. Florida State can't do that. Florida can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Any other team besides Clemson and ACC cannot do that. LSU can do that every single year. It's just this year they have a coach who does not fit the culture, and that's a bad hire. And it's going to be a really, really bad hire. It's going to raise his ugly head as he goes to the SEC for the first time. And he's going to one of these guys. He may be 1, 2, and done. But he does not fit LSU. Yes, anybody who went to LSU and knows LSU's culture, it's more of a swag culture. It's more of, you know what I'm saying, we get things done. It's like the antithesis of Alabama. Alabama's boy just grind you out and win. LSU more like a swag and win. And he does not fit that at all. You see the funny videos of Brian Kelly online trying to dance and swag it out and do the gritty and other little things. That's not him. But he's trying to do it because he's trying to fit in with the culture. The culture at LSU was swag and win. As you saw in 19 with Burrow, Chase, Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all those dudes came from Louisiana, like right from homegrown. And these guys are now in the league, Pro Bowlers, All Pros, and that's their position. Except Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who may prove something this year. That's for real. I'm not talking offensive line, defensive line yet, or matter of fact, it's called defensive back U. By the time on Matthews and all those guys that come out of there at the defensive back position.
Yep.
It's called DBU for a reason.
Yeah.
They got talent. They got real 5-star talent every year, and they've always had that. And like I said, not many teams get on the field and battle with Alabama year after year, but they can. There's a reason why Brian Kelly left Notre Dame. Notre bleeping Dame. No one leaves Notre Dame and goes down or goes even. You only go up when you leave Notre Dame. So his opinion, when he left Notre Dame, he was going up to LSU. You see what I'm saying? LSU is one of those jobs. I understand you may be frustrated with the way they play, how they look at times, and their overall record at times, but don't let that take away from the fact that they get a Nick Saban in there, they get a Kirby Smart in there, someone knows what they're doing. They immediately are top 4, top 5 contention, just like that. That's why they had that high. Look, number 9 in the country off the rip. They did nothing last year because of that same talent pool. They are one of those jobs, right? They are better than Texas A&M. They're better than Texas. They're better than Oklahoma. They're better than USC. They're better than all these other schools if they get the right coach in there. And they play in the SEC. Right, David. Every year. So
no, David's disagreeing with you. I'm just ready for you to finish because I'm a cut through that whole entire argument you just made. I'm just waiting for you to finish.
I don't know how you can cut through it because, I'm driving first, but I can pull up some data on last 10 years SEC championship compared to Georgia. Guess who's going to win?
No. Okay. You know what?
Right?
I'm
no. Before you get started.
Okay, because I was wondering. I did
let you talk.
You did, but I was just wondering if it was, I was just wondering if you were done. That's all. My bad. Go ahead.
It's all good. What I'm saying is, my guess is you not put Georgia in that conversation. Am I right?
Hell no.
You don't? Okay.
No.
So I have to make sure you're consistent.
Yeah.
If you put Georgia in that conversation, you would have to put LSU in that conversation.
Hell no. Hell no. Now, can I go?
The floor is yours.
Okay. All right. So, yes, thank you for bringing that up, right? Thank you for bringing that up because that's the point I wanted to make right there is you said these teams, right? And now
right.
First I wanted to know, well, who is that coach? And you named some coaches, so okay, we'll stick with that. Some coaches, yes. But my argument is, I got two arguments. Well, no, I got the same argument, and there's probably two ways of phrasing it, right? I feel like there may only be, honestly, if we were being 100% honest, there is no such thing as a program that is coach proof in college football. No such thing. You know how I know that? Because Alabama had Mike Schuler, and what they do.
Alabama before Nick Saban.
Exactly. Yep. And USC has, and you want to talk about swagged out. Remember, the whole 2000s was USC. USC has been swagged out for years. What have they done since Pete Carroll left? Right?
Well, here's the thing about that. The talent is not the same. Not the same as is in the fertile grounds of LSU and Georgia and Alabama.
But remember what they used to be. Remember what Pete Carroll could do. Pete Carroll could come down here and grab guys from the South and go over to USC, right? Again, we all thinking that, program this, program that. I don't necessarily believe that because I think that there is no program. And you want to talk about Clemson. Clemson just got it rocking, like you said, for the last decade, right? Oh, I think the only one that really hasn't had much of a drop-off that has been a national championship contender for each of the last 3 decades since we have been paying attention to college football, only one is Ohio State. Because everybody else has had a steep fall off, right? Texas was a power, falling off. Alabama was a power, falling off. The U was a power. We didn't even put them in this conversation. LSU, you already know how I feel about LSU not being in that tier of great teams. You know, like these players in the these programs are not recession proof, so to speak, right? They're not they need all these things to go into place. Now, what I was saying to you is really my whole argument against this whole is LSU a good job thing. Yes and no. Like, yes, it's a good job. Again, they got fertile ground to have tremendous players in the SEC. Yes, it's a good job. Is it a no-brainer job? No, because ultimately, there are no-brainer jobs because the coach has to come there and create a whole culture to turn it into that kind of job. Because remember what Florida was between Spurrier and Urban Meyer. It was Ron Zook. And the only thing they could do was beat Georgia when Georgia was up. When Georgia was down, Georgia kicked the crap out of them. Right? And then Urban Meyer came there, and then all of a sudden Florida is the one. Florida is the power. You know what I mean? And again, we talked about Alabama. And again, LSU. We talk about LSU and how LSU was what they were. And then they got Les Miles, who we all can admit is not a great head coach. But he knew. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you on this. He won because he knew the ground. He knew the fertile ground that he had. And then again, they went and got Ed Ogeron for some odd reason again, who we all knew was not a great head coach. But
and what happened?
But what did he do? He surrounded himself with people who knew how to coach them guys up, and they won a championship. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm saying is, but hold on. But hold on.
Sometimes it doesn't matter though.
Hold on.
Sometimes the team is so good that it doesn't matter.
Hold on. But doesn't that just negate your whole argument? Because if the team is so good, then that means anybody can coach them, right?
That enhances it because even with a lesser coach, they still win SEC championships and national championships. So imagine when they get a coach knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? That only enhances my argument.
But wait, but in your argument, that means that no one should have their fall off, which we've seen all these programs have their fall off. But again, case in point, if you get not some flash in the pan, not some fly by night coach, if his name wasn't Mud anymore, if you get Urban Meyer to go down to Texas wins a national championship within the next 2 years. Agree or disagree?
I'm not sure because I'm not sure how good of an X and O guy Urban Meyer is. Actually, the whole Jacksonville fiasco should
come on, man. Now, come on.
No.
What that is,
let me finish. Listen.
Okay.
X and O's, man. X and O's. A lot of these guys at the college level, man, only survive because of the Joes, not the X and O's.
But again, this is
guys who survive because they can recruit. And they've been living off the back of the 5-star and the 4-star players. And in actuality, they can't coach or scheme to save their life.
But that's my point, though.
How good was Urban Meyer without the all-world Tim Tebow? Like, literally, how good was he without Tim Tebow?
He wasn't any good at Florida, but how good was he at Ohio State? He was running the Big Ten. He was out-recruiting Alabama's.
But at Ohio State, he had Chase Young. At Ohio State,
yes.
He had you see what I'm saying?
Yes, because
the 5-star guys.
Will, you're making my point. I'm saying if he goes to Texas, which is college football, not pro football, he can recruit at Texas, and he'll get all the best players at Texas, and he'll out-recruit everybody. Why can't?
He could.
Yes, he could.
Before
he could do it now. You think Jacksonville? No, wait, stop. Well, let me ask you a question. No, seriously, I'm asking you a serious question. You think that you think that everybody who saw him at Jacksonville said, "Oh my God, he can't coach football anymore"? Or do you think that everybody who saw him at Jacksonville said he doesn't belong in the pros?
Listen, if you let me finish the thought, I will tell you that what happens is sometimes some teams or some players are turned off by what happens in the life. Urban Meyer has a lot of bad things happen from last year. Not just the fact he couldn't coach Jacksonville, but a lot of off-the-field stuff, too. That turns parents off. That turns kids off. I'm not saying that he will go there and not have any success. I know who Urban Meyer is. I know his track record. I get what you're saying. I understand that completely. But what you're not understanding, because you so blindly focus on your point, is that it still hurts him somewhat. And that somewhat hurt him can still be a detriment. Like, yes, there's some recruits saying like, yo, I'm not going over there. Not the way he did. Let me go to Auburn. Let me go to Georgia. Let me go somewhere else. He'll still recruit his butt up because he's Urban Meyer, no doubt. But for me, the same way I'm thinking now that, man, his S&O game is not right. There's some parent, there's some recruit thinking the same thing I'm thinking. That he's more overrated than he is actually being rated. You feel me? So I understand what you're saying. He's Urban Meyer. He's going to recruit. I understand that. I got that 100%. But it still hurt him what happened last year. And that's my only point. And getting back to the bigger point is there's only a few schools who can do that. Texas is one of them, where you get the right coach in there, you'll win within a year or two. And that's my whole point. Notre Dame is not one of those schools. As great as the pantry is, as big as the name is, you go to Notre Dame for 1 or 2 years, you may not win anything. You'll be on national TV. You may win 9 games, but you're not winning any kind of championships or any playoff games as illustrated in the last 20 years. Brian K. left that because he knew that. He went to LSU, even though it's kind of like being Alabama's little brother, because he has a chance to win the SEC with all that talent, with all that money, with all that recruiting base. He has a chance to win the national championship for the same reason I pointed out before. That only exists at a handful of schools. Remember Nebraska. Nebraska was all world our entire lives back in high school and college. They were the best squad. They were the squad on Sports Illustrated, this, that, and the other. We have not heard from Nebraska in like 20 years. There's a reason for that. Because the fertile grounds of recruiting are over with. It's done. No matter who you put in Nebraska, it's going to be hard to win. If you find a decent, a good head coach in LSU, they are immediately in a discussion to win SEC titles, national titles, immediately. Only a handful of teams can say that. LSU is one of them, and that's my only point. That is my only point.
Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah. And matter of fact, I want to thank you, sir, for allowing me to talk more than 25 seconds. Matter of fact, more than 10 seconds. You've been on one this morning, but thank you for allowing me to talk for 10 seconds.
So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted.
And before I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just ask your listeners the same thing you asked me, and let's have a vote on it. I'm confident that people feel the same way I feel. Ask Trey, ask Romeo in the chat. They feel the same way I feel.
We've seen by major elections that 8 million people, 80 or 75 million people can be wrong about votes. So I don't know about voting because we've seen from elections that 80 million people can be wrong.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Now you're saying that. Now you're saying
yes.
that. See,
yes.
That's how much you don't believe in your own point. You don't want to
No. Hey, well, no. See, now you trying to manipulate me. Now you trying to mix my own words up. We can vote. That's fine. We can go to vote.
Saying what you told me.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. Hey, Trey's right there right now. Rome is right there right now. Let's get one more person to come in the chat and break the tie. Let's go. Let's get it. If you, sir, thank you for letting me get 25 seconds because you keep interrupting me. So we got Trey, we got Jerome, John, if you out there, CC, if you out there, Always Live in the Land, if you out there, all the people who are in the chat who just listen, don't say anything. If you would like to vote, I need a vote because I know these two are going to vote. That's just 2. I want to get a tiebreaker in here. I say that for the most part, there are no jobs that are, are recession proof, right? I say that not every job. I say that a lot of these jobs that we think are great jobs if they get the right type of coach in there. That's not saying that you can't get lightning in a bottle, but lightning in a bottle happens all the time. But I say that those jobs, no job is recession proof, and you got to have the right coach in there. And Will says that there are some jobs that are great jobs that are fertile that even a decent coach can still bring up and get them to national prominence. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think it started off with LSU being a certain tier.
Yeah, right? LSU. Right. We started off with LSU. Right. And I was just saying that LSU is not necessarily a great job. That's what I was saying. I was saying that LSU.
That's what we need to say. That's what I started this all. Okay. And I say LSU is a great, capital G, is a great job.
I say LSU is not a great job, capital N, not a great job. But real quick, before we go on to something else or we let you go, I want to get back to this Urban Meyer thing. So let me ask you a question, okay? you have sons, right? You have sons. So let's say Urban
Yeah, I
Meyer
have
came
one.
to you. He was at Texas. Okay. You mean to
Uh-huh.
tell me that you would say, yeah, Urban, I mean, that's cool and everything, but nah, I don't know if I'm gonna rock with you like that. He wanted to give your sons, the opportunity to play whatever position they wanted to play. Let's say quarterback, right? Let's say quarterback because we
Uh-huh.
don't want the kids to take too many hits. He was going to give your sons the opportunity to play quarterback at Texas. You mean to tell me that his failings at Jacksonville is going to make you say no? You're going to move on somewhere else, knowing
It
what he
depends.
does in college.
It depends. It depends. It depends on if I have options. More than likely, if Urban Meyer's at your door and he's asking your
Yeah,
kids to play
you
college
got
football,
options. You got options.
you got
You
options.
got
You got
options.
options. And I'm not talking about little options. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about like Northwestern. I'm talking about like Georgia,
So
Alabama,
so
Clemson.
and I'll ask you the same question, but let's take any kind of, oh my gosh, this is my favorite team. I've always wanted to play there. Let's take all of that out of the equation, right? But let's just say you got options. You got options. Like you said, Urban Meyer's recruiting you. If Saban is still there, he's recruiting you. If Smart is still there, he's recruiting you. Dabo, everybody, they're all recruiting you. All of them. Now, okay, and I know there are a number of factors that will come into it, but you mean to tell me that you're going to outright say no to Urban Meyer if he recruited your son after the
I won't.
shenanigans in Jacksonville?
I won't outright say no, but he won't start off in first place. He has to show me and explain exactly how he's going to benefit my son at school. You know what I'm saying? When you hand someone your child, right? You're not just asking to be a good football player. You're saying you're going to be a good man of character. Like that means something to me. I don't know
Yeah.
about anybody else. That means something to me. Like you're going to take care of my son. You're going to make sure he's studying. You're going to make sure he's taking care of business. And you know what I'm saying? And all these shenanigans, you're not going to be a hypocrite. You're not going to tell my son he can't do this, he can't do that. But then you out here at the club at 12 Sunday night after you have an L, took an L in the game, and you've been seeing with someone other than your wife. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not going to be a hypocrite out here in the street. You're going to be for real about it. So,
yes.
for me, a man of character means something. And his character took a big hit last year. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's a means to an end. He's a good football coach. I get that. But like you said, you got a lot of things like NFL, and they're means to an ends, right? That also applies to college football, where it means to an end. Like, it has to mean something. It has to come from a place of real. Like, you just want my son because he's good at football. Will you make him a better man? Can I trust you with my son? You feel me?
I feel you.
After last year, I can't trust Urban Meyer off the rip. He would have to show me something. That's all I'm saying.
Let me say this one thing, and then we can move on. Let me say this one thing. I know you say that.
Get ready to go.
Okay, all right. I know you say that, and I know you believe that. But never forget, after everything that he went through, Bobby Petrino still got a job and still was able to recruit Lamar Jackson. So never forget that, sir. Never forget that.
He got Lamar Jackson in Louisville. Yeah, he did. But how successful has he been besides that?
Oh no, I'm not saying he will. That's your my point is not is he successful. My point is that can he recruit players? That's what I'm saying. And that's Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino has never been successful. Like, let's keep it real. He's been successful at lower tier jobs, Arkansas and Louisville, but Bobby Petrino ain't been. He's not an Urban Meyer. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of these guys we're talking about.
He's not. And he did get a Heisman winner, but how do you recruit for defensive backs? How do you recruit for running backs? How do you recruit for wide receivers? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can point out one guy you got, but how do you do across the board with talent? You know what I'm saying? After his fiasco, probably not the same. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do it across the board. You know what I'm saying? But we had to go ahead and say that when we have time. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying, but hopefully you see what I'm saying too. Like,
I see what you're saying.
I understand your points where you always been with the NFL and their means to an ends and just the win. That's all that matters in marketing. It has to mean something. For you, it has to mean something, right? That's how you understand about college football. You just can't blindly go for a means to an ends for Urban Meyer. It has to mean something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your kids somewhere, it's gotta be character involved.
I think honestly, man, I really and I'm not saying that you don't believe what you're saying, but I'm like, honestly, I think that you're not understanding how bad people want their kids to go to these programs and play for these guys because they know they'll give them the exposure. And I think that's another factor as well.
I get it, but I'm saying any kid that has option now, Urban Meyer is no longer option number one.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
See what I'm saying?
I can agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
I can agree with
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
I can agree. I can agree.
Okay.
So you said you got to go. So
we ended there.
So did you want to do anything else before you go?
Just shout out to the Braves, man. Braves tied the Mets.
Yes.
Day before yesterday for first place, first time since all year, since April. The Mets had first place like 160 days, but the Braves finally caught them playing at basically a blistering pace of like 62 and 24, something crazy the last 80 games. And so shouts out to the Braves for finally catching the Mets. The Mets had a doubleheader yesterday, so they went ahead by a half game. So the Braves are still taking it behind them, but for all intents and purposes, they've caught the Mets. And now for the last quarter of the season, it's going to be the Mets and Braves, and who can win the division. The Mets have the weaker schedule. The weaker schedule. They go against the weaker team. We have a stronger schedule, but once again, we play the Mets at home the last series in September. And so we're looking forward to that. And so is David, as you can hear.
I see.
And we're going to see if the Braves can take the division, because take the division, you get a first round bye, and then you play. Hopefully, you go back to the National League Championship Series. So shouts out to the Braves, man. Shouts out also to Serena Williams for a wonderful career.
Shout out to the Queen. Shout out to the Queen.
Shout out to the Queen. Shout out to the Queen. R.I.P. to the other Queen who passed away yesterday.
Oh, the actual Queen.
Yeah, actual Queen. I did want to shout out Serena Williams, though. So, wonderful career. And one thing I always forget about Serena is also how great Venus Williams is.
Yes.
And before there was Serena, I want people to know there was Venus.
Yes.
Venus was that girl.
All of you young people, and we're gonna get more into this. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, all of you young people that only know Serena, like the bad thing about Serena being so great is that Venus was the first. Venus was the one. Venus was the one who started this whole thing. And again, we'll get more into that when we got time. But I know we got to let you go. Oh, and real quick, just so you know, I'm not just so you know, I'm not going to shy away from anything. Jerome says, variable Y, I'm with Will on this one. You make a great point. And then after that, he said, I feel you, Will. So Jerome voted for you. So we'll see if anybody else wants to vote. Right now, I guess, hell, it's 1-0. So that may be the tiebreaker right there on its own. So there you go.
That's what's up, Jerome. But, I think, I'm not trying to be justified. I mean, that's how I actually believe. I just believe LSU is a great job. That's the reason why Brian Kelly left, of all places, Notre Dame, some place no one ever leaves, to go to LSU.
Yeah, okay. I don't think it's a great job. I think it's a good job. I don't think it's a great job. But hey, we sometimes we disagree. That's what makes us us.
That's why I'm here. So I'm here to educate.
Yeah, you're here to agitate, not educate. But it's all good.
One last shout out for me. Shout out to my baby boy, my oldest boy, Lil Will. Today is his 8th birthday, man. So
oh my gosh! Shout out to Lil Will, man. Oh man!
Shout out to him, man. So we got something planned. I'll hit you about that. We got something planned for him, man. But shout out to him.
Absolutely. Shout out to Lil Will, man. 8th birthday. Oh my gosh. Time is flying, man. Oh, time is flying, dude. Oh. You know, brother. You know.
Yes, I am. I got gray hairs to show it.
Man, don't we all?
Yes, all right, brother.
All right, man.
Much love, man. Have a wonderful rest of the day, man.
You
too.
Definitely
catch up.
Definitely. Be safe out there. Tell David, you keep Dad in line, okay?
He's doing a good job.
All right, man.
All right, sir.
Later.
All right. Later.
All right, people. Those were our peeps. There was Will and David. I keep forgetting that David is there in the background with us. But yes, that was Will and David right there on the Morning Rise with the Variable Y on 106liveradio.com. Let's do this. Let's do top of the hour. Whatever I call it. I forget what I call it. Top of the hour break, and then we'll do an actual commercial break, and then we'll come right back right here on the Morning Rise with Variable Y on 106liveradio.com. No commercial break. We'll just do top of the hour break, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
106 R&B and throwbacks on 106 Live Radio. Atlanta's music leader. This is The Morning Rise. Now broadcasting weekdays from 6 to 10 on 106 R&B and Throwbacks.
So it looks like I'm going to have to suspend a couple of turncoats around here. Because in the chat now, Trey says, I agree with ... Will. Laugh out loud. And then he said, happy birthday to other Trey. So happy birthday to little Will. Happy birthday to Trey, whose birthday is today. And I got to remember these birthdays because his birthday is the same month as my son's birthday. So, Variable Junior's birthday is later on this month. So shout out to him as well. Jerome earlier said, man, early in the season, it's time to beat them. I think he's talking about the Rams. I don't think so. Let's rise up to the LA challenge. Okay. First we got to beat the Who Dat Saints. Ugh. That's going to be even worse because I don't think we're going to do that one either. I don't think we're going to do that one either. Trey is asking, am I going to the Falcon draft party today at Atlantic Station? I won't be able to make it. I got to work later on today, so I won't be able to make that. I did see the email for it, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, but, I won't be able to make it. Atlantic Station traffic and all that traffic, and then I got to go all the way over to the other side of town. It's crazy, and I don't want to get caught in traffic, so unfortunately I won't be able to make that. I would love to go take the boy out there because I think that would be cool for him to go and experience. So Will said something that I totally didn't get a chance to say, so thank you so much, Will, for bringing up the topic of us saying giving Serena Williams her flowers. Now, if anybody knows me, especially knows me from my younger days, and this is not to objectify, and I hope it doesn't come across as objectifying, but I used to think there was no one in the public eye that was better looking than Serena Williams. There was a time when I was just, that was my celebrity crush, right? That was my, and I saw, and we're round about the same age, so it's me looking at her at that age, it's not like it's creepy, or I don't think it's creepy, but I noticed this when when they were both younger, when they both had the beats and everything, and we know now who Serena is because Serena is that woman, right? She became the one, right? She became the what everybody says now, the final boss, all this stuff. She became that after so long. But before it was Serena, it was Venus. And kind of like, and I hate to say it like this because I feel like it kind of diminishes what all of these ladies have done, but it's just the way that our society is. It's like every time a black girl comes along in tennis and is winning in tennis, it's kind of like the world says, hey, look, a black girl, and they get really excited about it, right? And we had those moments where I take that back, because at that time it wasn't just black girls, it was any young lady who came along. They were like, oh my god, a young girl, okay, great, wow, this person's coming along, she's so young, wow, this is awesome, she's gonna be the future, and and let's put her, and obviously this is with the rise in popularity of ESPN, and around that time, you're watching ESPN, and of course they have it on, so you're like, oh, okay, what's this? Oh, who is this? Okay, cool. Wow, I didn't know that this person played. That's great. Because I remember in 1997, there was this young lady named Martina Hingis, and she was from Switzerland. Yes, she's from Switzerland. They called her the Swiss Miss. Now, again, 97, You got to imagine, I was a youngster, so I kind of I was into a couple of women back then. So when I was on SportsCenter watching SportsCenter and everything, they would have Martina Hingis on there, and I just was smitten by Martina Hingis. Something about her, I don't know what it was, but it was something about her that I just thought, oh my gosh, she is the one, right? Again, I was a kid. But around that same time, kind of a foil to her, or to kind of try to match them up. And that's what they do. That's what you do, right? You match up young people or people around the same age to see if they will go head to head. You build on those stories, and you'll be telling these stories for years and years, right? So around the time of her dominance, because she made she actually almost won the Grand Slam, like the year Grand Slam, um that year in 97. She made the finals in all 4 Grand Slam events. And she lost in straight sets to somebody. I don't know. I can't. Iva something or other. She lost in straight sets. But Martina Hingis, she won every other one. She won the Australian, she won she won Wimbledon, and she won the US Open. At the US Open, who did she beat? She beat Venus Williams. And of course, at the time, it was such this great story because she was this girl. She was this little girl from Compton. She had the bees in her hair. She was like this stream being little girl. She was so skinny. And everybody was just, they talked about that, and they just was like, oh, then this is such a great story and blah blah blah, but nobody believed in her, right? Nobody believed that she could do it. And then for the next few years, she didn't, right? She just couldn't get through. She would lose in the second round. She would lose in the quarterfinals. Well, she would lose in quarter semis, quarters, and the fourth round. And she just kept losing. She just kept losing quarters, kept losing everything. And then all of a sudden, in 2000, she broke through and she won Wimbledon, her first Wimbledon, and she beat Lindsay Davenport again. Lindsay Davenport, if you know tennis, Lindsay Davenport was a big deal. And then she won Wimbledon, then she won the US Open. And then the next year she came back and she repeated as champion. She defended her titles in both of those venues. This time she beat Justine Henin-Hourdan, or I guess it's Hannah now. She was Justine Henin. She got married. Again, back then when these ladies were the rivals of the Williams sisters, I knew all about them because again, we would watch and we cheer. We cheer for them. These were like our people, right? So we were cheering for them the whole time. So yeah, I knew who these rivals were, and I was always cheering for the Venus and Serenas out there. And so and then eventually she actually played Serena in the final, and but I think that was the beginning of the Serena era, and somehow it was the end of the Venus. And again, for Serena, like for any of these kind of sibling things, me being the younger sibling of a sibling who is the same sex, right? Me being that younger sibling, I totally understand these kind of sibling rivalries and the ways that they turn out, right? Like I get that. Like I get wanting to beat your older sibling because growing up, they beat you all the time. Right? Like I know what that feels like. I remember those days. I remember those times of, playing basketball against my brother and him being the one of the talented kids out there, right? Him being just one of those kind of just super athletic kids out there who could do just about everything, and wanting to beat him because growing up he always beat me. And I remember those times, and they were few and far between. But I remember those times growing up, of course. Now, I mean, he's old and I'm, me. Look at me. I'm come on. But I remember those times growing up where it was hard to beat him. So, looking at that and gravitating towards that younger sibling and saying, hey, I get it. Go get him. Go beat her. Beat that older sibling. Beat her. and, and just appreciating the fact that she was able to do those things, Serena, and also appreciating the fact that she was able to just come through and just become a dominating force, and for her to be a dominating force. And but one thing that Will said, and it's like, okay, you know what, I also want to make sure that we please don't forget this. But yes, before there was Serena, there was Venus, and Venus was, excuse me, a pioneer. Venus was a pioneer, just like Serena's a pioneer, and she didn't have as many Grand Slams as Serena. Obviously Serena is she's right up there. She doesn't have as many Grand Slams, but she's got she's got them, right? She's got what's that, 2, 6, 7. She's got 10. She's got 10 Grand Slams. Nothing to ever feel some kind of way about, ever. She's got her Grand Slams, and she's I don't know what would constitute this. I would think she's a Hall of Famer, but I'm not really sure. So I don't know what constitutes a Hall of Famer in this sport. She's got 4 gold medals. One in singles. The other 3 are in doubles. But still, she's got 4 gold medals. She's got the doubles Grand Slam championship. She's won the career doubles Grand Slam. Again, I don't really know what all that what that means, right? I don't know what that means, how that puts you in the pantheon of greats in your sport. But I think she is definitely somebody we should we should pay homage to and say, hey, yes, Serena is the GOAT. I think so. Some other idiots who come out here yell all the time and say something about Steffi Graf and all that. Okay, Serena's got the most Grand Slams. Serena's done it and I don't want to take anything away from what was done in the bygone eras or whatever, but Serena's done it in the modern era where there are better athletes, where they're more conditioned, where they're more, where just our technology alone could put some of these athletes who are out here now, could retire some of the lesser knowns, not the greats. They're not going to retire the greats. That's not what I'm saying. But some of the lesser knowns that the greats were playing to get to these finals, just because they would beat a great in finals, some of those lesser knowns that they had to get there, these athletes now would just put those lesser knowns out of commission. So let's give these athletes today, let's give them their respect. Let's kind of, here's a perspective I want to put it in. And I say this all the time. If I say something about an athlete nowadays in any sport, I'm comparing them to the athletes in their sport. I am in no way saying that I or anybody else off the street could do anything that they could do. I don't know. Let's just say Clint Capella. Okay. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Clint Capella, if you put him in 1960s era basketball, he's going to be in the running for an MVP. It's just the way it is, right? Like, not saying that, not saying that some of those guys were not good, but I'm just saying with the athleticism, the footwork, with the way that guys are able to manipulate and maneuver now, you put them in their bodies and their brains back in those days, they would put some of those guys out of commission. And I think the same should be said for tennis, and the same should be said for the guys that they're the athletes that they're competing against now. So I say all of that to say that I believe Venus is a Hall of Famer. Will just text me, say she's a lock Hall of Famer. I believe that's the case. And like Will said, we should put some respect on Venus's name. Yes, she has a famous last name because her sister is probably the greatest of all time. But let's put some respect on her name. She deserves it. Venus and Serena are the absolute truth. And again, Venus, Serena, and LeBron James are the greatest sports stories, American sports stories of all time. And I want somebody to debate me on this, please. And please come to me with your Miracle on Ice or whatever other crap you've got. And I'll tell you about 3 individuals who were never given a thing, who went on to at one point dominate their respective sports and become global icons. I think that's checkmate. That's what they call in the business. They call that checkmate. But if you want to debate me, go ahead. Shout out to everybody who's leaving messages in the chat. My man Trey was saying, I'll never forget Jamie Foxx's tribute to Serena at the ESPYs. I want to be your tennis ball. He had a remix too. Laugh out loud. It should have been a real song. I'm gonna see if I can find that. That sounds kind of funny. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Jerome says shout out to Francis Tiafoe in men's tennis. Francis Tiafoe. Rome. I stopped watching men's tennis when Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi left. I enjoyed their rivalry. And back then I kind of fell for the whole nationalism Kool-Aid and it was like, yeah, Americans. But now I'm looking for brothers in tennis, and there are no brothers, so I don't really follow men's tennis like that. But shout out to our friend Francis Tiafoe. I hope I'm saying your name right, sir. Trey said Venus was the truth. You damn right she was. Trey also said, did you hear the tennis player? I don't know her name. Her last name is Court, and is mad because Serena never acknowledged her greatness. The article came out this week. Yes, I saw that. I saw that on Twitter. And Margaret, her name is Margaret Court. I saw that on Twitter, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't really pay it too much attention because again, all the hating on Serena is kind of getting old and it's kind of getting on my nerves. So I kind of let that go. Trey was like, yep, and they're from Compton too. Exactly, from Compton, playing on courts with glass and bullet casings, shell casings. Like, come on, man. Trey saying that Francis is the Black American man who beat Nadal. Okay, great. Shout out to my man. I'm gonna have to start following him. Black and American. Hey, Black. You had me at Black, so I'm not gonna apologize for it either. All right, guys. Hey, great stuff. Appreciate you guys for contributing in the chat. We are gonna come right back. Now we're gonna do a commercial, and then we're gonna come back. And we are going to do a little bit of music, do a little bit more sports, and wrap this puppy up right here on The Morning Rise with the Variable Y on 106liveradio.com.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Everton Christie, ready to assist you with all your financial goals. We move you from uncertainty and insecurity to financial freedom. Dreaming of financial independence? Or having dreams of starting a new career? Get your financial foundation built right. With services from debt management, retirement planning, personal financial strategy, life, health, and Medicare insurance planning, and so much more. Every goal begins with the very first step. Financial independence is not just a dream, it's a decision. Call or text Everton Christie at 919-218-4962 or reach out to him at www.fgconnects.com/Everton Christie.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So don't let here, you can do it if you try.
Autism, a complex developmental condition affecting the patient's ability to interact, communicate, and progress, has not one, but many subtypes. Reach out to a local group to see how you can participate. One way to bring awareness to this issue is to educate the new generation in fostering acceptance and kindness towards the autistic community. Ella Auti, a story of a fourth grader battling society with autism, is a great way to educate your kids and start important conversations. In light of the pandemic, the autism community continues to face the worst of challenges. Make it a goal to donate as much as you can to your local Autism Society of America to further their efforts and encourage their unrelenting support for their community. For more information, please visit nationaltoday.com.
Do you have a business that you'd like to promote? Or maybe you just want to sponsor the show and keep the good vibes going. If you would like to, the information is up on the screen. You can find us at www.106liveradio.com, or you can give us a call, 404-689-5483.
106liveradio.com, Atlanta.
There's something I gotta tell you, 'cause I know that a brother got needs tonight. Now I ain't tripping on your dancing 'cause that shit's tight, but you gotta pay tonight. I know you wanna get paid tonight, but I'm tryna get paid tonight. We ain't even gotta fuss and fight, just hit me right, song all night. I know you wanna get in bed with me, but you gotta come correctly. Nothing in life is free, especially not me. I hope you can feel me when I say pay before you play with me. Wanna taste this, but it's priceless. It might be something you ain't never done before, but I'm not your ordinary hoe. I know you wanna get paid tonight, but I'm trying to get paid tonight. We ain't gotta play tonight, just hit me right, song all night. I know you wanna get paid from me, but you gotta come correctly. Nothing in life is free, especially
not looking for love, shawty, but I'm looking for a goal, shawty. One I can cut, shawty, like the mama in the blues, shawty. So goddamn cute, shawty, but she said she needs cheese, shawty, before she deal with me, shawty. Well, let me see, shawty, what it might be, shawty. And what's your fee, shawty, for a fantasy, shawty. Now I ain't rich, shawty, but I spent a little bit, shawty. So who you with, shawty? Let's do this shit, shawty.
I know you wanna get paid tonight, but I'm tryna get paid tonight. We ain't even gotta fuss tonight, just hit me right, song all night. I know you wanna get paid from me, but you gotta come correctly. Nothing in life is free, especially not there's something I gotta tell you, before you lay with me tonight. I ain't got no problem with fly that nice, but you gotta pay tonight.
What you talking about? That didn't come out your mouth. You say you want some cash before I hit that ass, but not your boy. I ain't no no toy. Don't play no games. Cause I ain't lame. But for my girl, I give her the world. Ain't no thing to give up that chain. I ain't rich, but I spend a little bit. So who you with? Let's do this.
I know you wanna get paid tonight, but I'm tryna get paid tonight. We even got us tonight. You hit me right, it's on all night. I know you wanna get paid tonight, but you gotta let me get me. Nothing like is free, especially night. Now it's there for you, if you want me to, and I'll be by your side. If the price is right, take care of me, and I'll take care of you. Nothing in life is free. Oh, yeah, I gotta get paid. Ooh. Now if you want me, come correctly. It might be something you ain't never done before, but I'm not your ordinary.
You're tuned into The Morning Rise on 106 R&B and Throwbacks.
Yes, you are. And we are back right here on the Morning Rise, the Variable I, 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. So I had to come back from break to this. I'm trying to find some games to pick, to bless you guys, to pick these games. I went 3 or 4 last week. I can't find all the games that I picked, but I went 3 or 4 last week, and I'm trying to bless you guys with some more of this knowledge. And this is what I get. This is what I get right here. Will saying, looks like I'm winning the vote so far. And what up, Ron? What up, Trey? Yeah, whatever. Hey, man, that's fine. Y'all can think whatever y'all want. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I think it's a middle of the road job, like most other jobs most other jobs in college football. I don't think now that we mention it, I don't think any jobs are recession proof. And maybe I'm just looking at it differently, because I feel like every one of these jobs can fall on hard times, because we've seen it happen. And all of them need the right coach, because hell, like you said, Georgia with the right coach is a problem. Georgia with Mark Richt, yeah, it's okay. It can challenge for a SEC championship. So it's all good. And Trey's like, yeah, we still love you. Yeah, whatever. Okay, whatever. Keep that. So let's see. Okay, so last week my picks were, I picked Ohio State over Notre Dame. I picked Georgia over Oregon. I picked Utah over Florida, and they could have won that damn game, but we want to talk about coaching. Jeez Louise. And I think I did Clemson. I picked Clemson over Georgia Tech. But come on. Of course. Man, Georgia Tech is awful. But again, one thing I was saying to Will was like, hey man, there was a time when Georgia Tech was a national power, okay? Because they had the right coach and they ran the right system. So again, I don't think any program is recession proof. All right, so this week, and these are real slim pickings. That first week everybody tries to play a competitive game, and then after that it's like, nope. So these are real slim pickings, man. And I'm not going to pick, I'm not going to pick the Ohio State Arkansas State game. I'm not going to pick the Miami Southern Miss game. I'm not going to pick the North Carolina State Charleston Southern game. Not going to do the Notre Dame Marshall. Not going to do the Clemson Furman. Not going to do Texas A&M Appalachian. Yeah, no, not going to do those games. So, but I did find 4 games. And honestly, man, did I find 4? Goodness gracious. I did find 3 games. I need to find a 4th. I thought I found a 4th. Lord have mercy. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I did find 4. Okay. All right. And honestly, like a lot of these are favorites. You know, they're ranked higher than the other team. And I know it's like, okay, but you're picking favorites. Yeah, but again, slim pickings, guys. There's really not a lot there's not a lot to pick from in these games. So I'm sorry. But like I said, I'm gonna bless you all with these picks. So all right, so I've got Alabama over Texas, and that game is that on a neutral field? No, it's in Texas, so I don't know what DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. I don't know if that's actually where you know, I don't know if that's where the Longhorns play or not, but I got Alabama over Texas. Yeah, I don't think that needs any analysis. I've got Pitt over Tennessee. That game is in Pittsburgh, and they are ranked higher than Tennessee, so that's why I'm picking them. I've got Florida over Kentucky. I think Florida is still athletic, and Kentucky is Kentucky. It's not basketball, so I'm not going to pick them. And then, excuse me. And then lastly, I've got Baylor over BYU because I'm always going to pick over BYU because BYU is, y'all know the situation. We've already talked about it. And yeah, so I'm always going to pick over BYU. So there you go. Those are my 4 picks. We will come back next week and I will let you guys know exactly how I did. So, yep, we've got that. And let's see what else. Now Jerome, it's like, I still love you, Rebel Y. Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. Okay. The way you show me love is how you vote, daggone it. And you know I'm right. But whatever. So we got that. And oh, you know what? Why even limit it? Just college. Why limit it to college? Let's do some NFL picks. Hell, we got NFL games to pick from. Why don't I do some NFL picks? All right. So let's see. I'm not going to pick any Falcons games this year just because I don't want to pick against the Falcons. And I think I should pick against the Falcons in every single game. Now, here's an interesting game. The 49ers versus the Bears. You've got 2 second-year quarterbacks, 2 guys who seemingly the coaching staff is kind of skittish about in both of these young quarterbacks. The game is at Chicago. Justin Fields got a little more play than Trey Lance. The 49ers are favored by a touchdown? Huh. Wow. Okay. For the NFL games, I'm going to take the points. I'll take the Bears in the points. Yeah. The Bears +7? Sure. Okay. I'll take that. Bengals and Steelers. Or Steelers at Bengals, I should say. I would pick the Bengals, but I feel like that's too obvious. The Bengals are the defending AFC champions. And the Steelers are in a state of transition right now. So, yeah. Okay, here's one that seems interesting. New England at Miami. And they say that you get 3 points. The home team gets 3 points. Miami is favored by 3.5. I say they beat them by more than that. So I'll take Miami minus the points. All right. If this works, guys, I'm going up to Cherokee to play some bets next time. You can do that at Cherokee, by the way. They're not paying me, so I'm not going to give them a full-on advertisement. But, hey, I've been there. I've done it. You can do it. Well, I haven't done it because I don't really know. But I've been there. I've seen it. You can do it. This is another interesting one that I just saw come across the ticker last night. So, apparently, the New York Jets, I don't know what happened to Zach Wilson, but apparently the New York Jets are going to start Joe Flacco against the Ravens. Not that anybody I guess holds anything against Joe Flacco from when he played with the Ravens, but man, I just feel like they know Joe Flacco really well, and Joe Flacco hasn't been good in a long time, and they're going to kick the crap out of him. So I'm going to take Baltimore plus the 7. I said the Jets. I'm going to take Baltimore plus the 7. And then there's the Jaguars at the Commanders. And the Commanders are only favored by 2.5 points. And again, what did I tell you about Vegas saying that the home team gets 3 points? So they think that the Commanders aren't that good. And I think the Commanders aren't that good. But they got Carson Wentz. I'm not effing with Carson Wentz. I don't want nothing to do with him. But here's what I think is going to be the game of the week. And it's even. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Man, if I had time to go down to Cherokee, I would put some money on this right now. Seriously. The Browns are at Bank of America Stadium playing the Panthers. And they say it's even. I'm picking the Panthers, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I say they win by at least 14 points. You got Mr. Perennial Chip on the Shoulder, Baker Mayfield, going up against his old team at his new stadium. I think that they blow their doors off. He wants this more than anybody else could want anything. And Cleveland's defense is good. But you got McCaffrey and you got Baker Mayfield. Man, please. I think they blow their doors off. So, there you go, guys. I got the Bears plus 7. Jerome said, Bears, bro? Yes, plus 7. Now, I'm taking the points. Okay? I'm taking the points in the pros. College, I'm going to just do wins. I'm doing straight up. But in the pros, I'm doing the points. So, I got the Bears plus 7 over the 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 7. So, I got the Bears in the points. I've got the Dolphins, and I'll take the Dolphins minus the 3.5. I'll take Baltimore plus 7. Again, Baltimore is favored. Wait, I'm sorry. No, I think I said the Bears. I meant the Bears minus 7 because the 49ers. Wait, make sure I got that right. Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. Yes, right. Bears plus 7, Baltimore plus 7. And then I got the Panthers. That's even. That's a push. So I'm taking the Panthers straight up. So those are my picks. So we're going to come back on Monday. We're going to look through the picks and we're going to see exactly how they went. And now it's music time. And then we will be back. We're going to come back and we're going to do, even though we did it earlier this week, I think that this deserves another one. So we're going to come back and we're going to do the Kyrie Irving Award. And spoiler alert, it's a 2-time winner because what he did was just that despicable. So let's get to the music and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show for this week right here on The Morning Rise with the Variable I, 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
They didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me.
Before I came up in the game, nobody showed me love. They see me in the club and used to treat me like a scrub. They wouldn't holler cause my dollars wasn't swollen up. I bet they changed their mind when them 84s come rolling up. They see that I'm a star, now they wanna sit in my car. Now they wanna count my G's, roll with me and candy car. Now they used to love to diss me, now they rush to hug and kiss me now. They telling all their friends when I leave how they miss me now. 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low cause Mike Jones about to blow. Before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these girls didn't give a damn if I was here. Shit, I said before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these girls didn't give a damn if I was here. Shit, I said before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these girls didn't give a damn if I was here. Shit, because
back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me.
I remember back then, most of these girls couldn't stand me, but now them same girls begging me to put on their panties. A couple of them said I was cute, but I was just too chubby. Same size, a year later, the same girls wanna love me because they see me paid, pimping pins, working my jelly, and they ain't tripping cause my pockets stick out more than my belly. They know I'm paid, living laid in the shade, 2 slabs in the Escalade with 4 or 5 estates. They know that I got it made, so now they see me as a baller. She would wanna play her now, but I ain't got the time to call her. I'ma stall her like she styled me. Now she tryna call me. Girl, I'ma dog your side like you dog me. I'm Mike Jones, don't act like you don't know the name. Ain't nothing changed but my change, I'ma stay the same. I'm Mike Jones, don't act like you don't know my name. Ain't nothing changed but my change, I'ma stay the same. Because
back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me.
Before my paper came, before I got my fame, these girls that's bopping on me now didn't even know my name. They said my flow was lame, they said I had no game. I told them I was finna blow, they thought I was insane, but then my name started blowing up quick. Now they jumping on my cause they see me on the rise and know now my paper thick. But then my name started blowing up quick, now they jumping on my because they see me on the rise and know now my paper thick.
Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me.
106liferadio.com.
Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 in the 2000. Girl, you working with some back end. This back end, make it wanna spend this cash end. This last year, girls proud when you pass it. They mad yeah, you could ride in the Jag yeah. With that yeah, you could smoke a fire bag yeah. A crash yeah, got the money I can flash yeah. And trash yeah, I'm a bitch, I'm a player yeah. Gun spray yeah, a play a flipper yeah. Greg Billy yeah, like I be slinging wood yeah. I'm out the hood yeah, let it be understood yeah. It's all good yeah, got a gas give me low yeah. On the hard yeah, smooth here broad yeah. I want to draw yeah, hope you can do a trick yeah. On the stick yeah, you claiming you want to fit yeah. That ain't it yeah, I'm the daddy with the money yeah. Don't act funny yeah, got birds and I'm running yeah. About 100 yeah, girl you look good, want to back that thing up. You a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Come and think daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back that thing up. Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Come and think daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back that thing up. Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. You gotta put it back, yeah, make me laugh, yeah, make a player wanna grab, yeah, all the grab, yeah. I'm sweating in the draw, yeah, all long, yeah, wanna walk it like a dog, yeah, break you off, yeah, get mine, you gon' get yours, yeah, that for sure, yeah. You're messing with my nerves, yeah, to the curb, yeah. I know you women know, yeah, ain't it show, yeah, but the truth got some more, yeah, about to flow, yeah. Frank bought the beach, yeah, for the street, yeah. We be making heat, yeah, after heat, yeah. The chest lit night, yeah, I wanna bite, yeah. I can hit it right, yeah, all night, yeah. Wanna bring it to my house, yeah, on the couch, yeah. Knock the out, yeah, get your mouth, yeah. I wanna see a show, yeah, bend it low, yeah. Let me run it in the hole, yeah, make me know, yeah. Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You's a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back that thing up. Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You's a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back that thing up.
I know you can't stand it, stick bandit, done landed, see the draws handed, kitty go kitty y'all, game spitty y'all, put the broad on the wall, then I hit y'all, feeling kinda lonely, I'm feeling honey, put the piece in the middle like Monet, big stick plumber chick, in a Hummer chick, beat the what like a drummer chick, see that pretty cat, look at that, I love a little hoodie rat, that's a fact, you's a big fine hit girl, quit it girl, I'm the brother, the hit it girl.
Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You's a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back that thing up. Girl, you look good, want to back that thing up. You's a big fine woman, want to back that thing up. Call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up. Girl, who is you playing with? Back
What, drop it like it's hot now, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Look, DMB, make it drop it like it's hot. Look, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Look, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. You got your wobbledy, drop it like it's hot.
Kyrie Irving.
Incredible.
25 assist scores proves what you're talking about.
Earlier, when there were no fans in the building, this is when he was introduced to the crowd. Huge boos, of course.
Man, you thought Calvin Ridley was dumb? Y'all heard about Kyrie? Not only did Kyrie play in 53 games and missed out on $17 million, but because of how bad of a teammate he is, one of the best players in the world wants to leave. Now, the Kyrie Irving Award is given to the dumbest person of the week. Here is the variable why. Hey, variable. And the award goes to...
Yes, people. I have made an executive decision. Today's Kyrie Award recipient is so despicable. It's so disgusting that we're going to change the name of the award. Because you know what? Kyrie may be a bad teammate. Kyrie may be kind of out there, but at least he's not despicable. This person is. And they deserve to have their name live in infamy as being synonymous with despicable and stupid people. So, today's award winner is the only 2-time award winner for the Kyrie Irving Award. Now, that's just because we just started it, maybe a month ago, and maybe 2 months ago, whenever the whole Kevin Durant thing started. Man, that's like a whirlwind. I don't remember any of that now. But because of him, he's going to now take the reins, and we're going to name it after him. So, today's award winner was also Wednesday's award winner, and it's Brett Favre for being a thief and a liar and a downright trash human being. And congratulations to Brett Favre, because we are going to change the name of the award to the Brett Favre Award. So we're going to do some brand new production for that, and that'll be coming up very, very soon. All right, people. So wanted to let you guys know, again, for everybody who missed out on the programming note earlier, next week I am doing kid drop off and I'm working. So Monday is going to be the only day we do a live show next week. I'm going to go ahead and get some pre-taped shows queued up for us now, so I don't miss any pre-taped, but we're doing all pre-taped next week except for Monday. Monday is live. Every other day is pre-taped. Just wanted to let you guys know that right now. Again, work calls, got to go get that money. So sorry. I'll be back the next week, and we'll be back to have some fun and all the shenanigans and everything that goes into it. Talk all the fantasy football, all that jazz. So let's go ahead and start off on the shout outs, people. Let's get into them. Shout out to, you know what, before we do that, she's not here. I was hoping she'd be here so I could just bust her chops. So Miss Cece was in our chat, not too long ago. So that's why I was hoping she was here, right? And I remembered from when she was on the show how she said she does fantasy football. So I was missing one player for the league, and I text her, or no, I sent her a message through WhatsApp, and I was like, hey, and I sent it to her on the day of the draft, right? So like 2 days before the draft. So I'm like, man, if I don't hear from her, I may have to change it, and then I remember somebody. So I sent her a message, hey, I heard that you do fantasy football. Am I correct in that? She sent me a message like a week later, like, yeah, I do fantasy football. I don't need you now, but thank you. So that I just thought that was funny. All right, people, shout out to Mom and Papa Variable. Thank you, love you. Shout out to Brother and Sister Variable. Thank you, love you. Shout out to Mrs. Variable and Variable Children. Shout out to Will for checking in today in the show. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Romy Rome. And shout out to Miss Cece. She's not in the chat, but I thought that was a funny story. Shout out to everybody who's in the Morning Rise Fantasy Football League. The season has started. I hope you guys set your lineups because I'm not helping you at all. Remember, I am off next week except for Monday. Yes, love yourself, respect yourself for 2 reasons. Number 1, you deserve it. Number 2, when you love and respect yourself, you love and respect others. I'm gone. Have a great weekend. Peace.